Site B, which we know contains a tower, also has a garage layer. Nested in the garage is the access and stalls layer. If we select garage, we can once again see what level it's placed on, the number of levels tall. We can modify its floor-to-floor height. If we click the row axis option, you can see how the rows of our parking garage begin to change. You can reset that back to its default solve. You can start modifying the circulation, similar to what we saw earlier. And we also have the ability of increasing or decreasing the ramp slope. So if we are interested in having a speed ramp, we can increase that to 15 degrees, and there you have it. Let's take a closer look at our tower garage and head to the next layer, which is access. We notice right now that the access to the garage is on level B5. So we'll need to increase this value to 1. We can increase its width if need be, and with that layer selected in the nav tree, you can also click and drag to move the access into the garage wherever you see fit. Below access is stalls, where we can control the color of the stalls as well as the opacity. And then we can also control the overall stall width and depth. We can add column buffers with additional stall spacing and buffer widths. And we also have the stalls panel. So if we go ahead and click Open Stalls Panel, here we can control everything related to ADA parking. You'll notice compact is here by default, which you can either leave or remove. And then you can also add additional stall types. So if we had an EV type, you'd perhaps want to change that to yellow. And then we can adjust the buffer width. We can have that being a shared buffer, and we can also choose to either group those together or not. Let's take a look at the wrap condition on Site C. I have the garage layer selected, and our first option here is to define the location of the garage itself. So if I were to click that, you'll notice I can then start moving my mouse, and I see a rectangle there representative of our garage. So if I were to place it right here, it relocates our garage for us. We also have the ability of just clicking on this handle and dragging that garage wherever we may require our parking to be. If we hold the handle with our right mouse button, you can rotate it. You can then relocate it again to a different orientation. And you also have the ability of, let's get a little bit closer here, clicking and moving this grip to make our garage either bigger or smaller. So if I pulled it back over here, make it bigger this way, and then pull it down into this corner, we can rotate a little bit. You can start to get extremely intricate with the garage itself. You then have the ability of modifying things such as the number of levels tall, its floor-to-floor height, again, the circulation information, so drive aisle width, turn aisle radius. We have our ramp slope percentage as well. And of course, if we expand the garage layer, we have the access control again. So if we wanted to select it and relocate it in the garage, you can do so. And below that, you have the stalls panel, which allows you to, once again, make any modifications to things like ADA car and van parking, or adding and removing compact and perhaps EV stalls types. We look at Site A, which is the Gerben solve. You'll notice that there is no garage layer, and that's because, of course, we have surface parking on this site. But we do have the access layer right here, which of course again allows us to click and relocate access on this site. Just below that, we have the stalls layer, which again, of course, allows us to control everything related to ADA parking, stall width, stall depth, and that sort of thing.